Precious friends, I pray blessing over you. I hope that you're having an amazing day. As I'm sitting here on this beautiful land, I am just thinking about our Aboriginal land in the far north. I'm so honored to connect with some of the leaders today and just to touch base, see how they're doing. And I want you to know every single Aboriginal community that I've had the honors to reach, I want you to know that I love you and I am praying for you. And do pray for me as well. But I want you to know God's been speaking to me today about you, and He's been saying that it's time to take back what's rightfully yours. You know, for history, many of our First Nations people have fought for their treaty rights and many other concerns that they are desiring for the land. If I can encourage you, precious ones, don't stop being firm in your foundation of what you stand for. Um, we are in a time that this is a time where your voice really matters. And I just really feel that many have been confined in the north over the years, where they've been put in lands, um, and their children were stripped from them. I know what that's like. I was in the foster system in the 60 scoop systems for, gosh, 6 years or so. And I have to say, it's not a very good system. We need to pray for the system. We need to pray for the government. But what I also am saying, we need to pray for each other. You need to pray for your families. Pray like never before. And not just pray, but faith without works is dead. We can pray till our hair goes gray. We need to pray and put action to our prayers as well. And so, if I can encourage you, precious ones, in some of the communities I've been at, I remember we had times where we were praying for the children and the power of God was moving in a mighty way. I just want to encourage you. This is, I call this July Value Youth Month, and I hope that you will take on this initiative to value a young person everywhere you go. Snatch them from the fire. Tell them about how precious they are. Tell them how valuable they are. Tell them how much they matter to you and to our land. Tell them how much they are precious and valuable. Do whatever it takes to speak into their life, because they're trying to figure out where they fit right now. And we as adults, especially those who know Christ, really need to come back to the basics, because Christ is returning soon, and we don't know the time or the hour, precious ones. But if I can be really real with you, we need to seriously watch out for our kids. And some of you can say, well, you're not a parent. Well, you know what? I am a parent to many First Nations. They call me Mama Eagle. I have many First Nations people in the north that I love very dearly, and I feel that God has been using me to encourage and to help and to bless. And I guess there is a reason why a little boy called me Mama Eagle. It's because I'm always looking out after our young people. Um, and I love them. I love you. And I want you to know that you guys matter in the North. You have a voice. And so I just want to encourage you with this passage, because God has been really speaking to me, and He wants to use some of you out there in this hour. So do not be silenced by circumstances. Do not be silenced by this COVID stuff and saying, oh, they've locked us down and that's just the end of the world. No. I felt that grip of fear when I was by myself prior to going back to work. And I'm going to tell you, that's a spirit of fear, but God's given you a power, love, and sound mind. And I just want to read this. And in Isaiah 61, it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the broken-hearted and to proclaim freedom to the captives. Is that your desire? To proclaim freedom to the captives, to release from darkness from those who were prisoners, to proclaim the year and the favor of the Lord. We need to proclaim, precious ones, the favor and the year of the Lord. We don't know the time of the hour. We see the signs of the times. We also see prophecies literally unfolding before our very eyes, as we learn from Matthew 24, the lawlessness, all the things that are happening. May we not just be so complacent, but may we be ready and prepare our hearts. And then he says, to provide those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them the crown of beauty instead of ashes, oil for gladness instead of mourning, the the garment of praise, and instead of the spirit of despair, they will be called oaks of righteousness. It's time, precious ones, to be the voice God's called you to be. You will be oaks of righteousness. Listen to this, and then it says, and they will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated, and they will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. Precious ones, it's time. It's time to be the voice that God's called you to be. Chiefs and leaders and pastors, I'm asking you all across the north, would you rise in strength? You are mighty men and women of valor. God is not calling you to shrink back in fear, but He's calling you to be the voice. First Nations are rising on this land, change the earth. The voice of God will speak through you, and He'll be heard. It's time, precious ones. Use all the precautions God leads you to do of the COVID. But those, for instance, who have churches, you have 30% capacity. Fear not. God is with you. He's going to lead you, and He will protect you. He is our shield. He is our comforter. He is our strength. He is our rock. Use the proper hygiene protocol. Wash your hands. Do everything. Trust me, I'm a healthcare provider. We need to do that. I totally get it. We can actually reduce disease by 50% by following the proper protocol of proper hand washing. Maybe get washing stations, whatever it takes. But I want to encourage you, please, don't just think you're not essential. You are essential. Every church in the north, you have a calling right now to reach your people. And I want to encourage those who are in position of leadership there, get phone numbers. Get phone numbers of your congregants and take turns and call them. Reach out to them. Reach out and touch someone's hand. And make this a better world by just touching someone's life by saying, hey, you matter. I care. How's Susan? How's Johnny? Reach out. Let's start a family network so that you can just bond together. But God has not called us to be socially distanced to the point where we're not even connecting. Precious ones, God has a plan, and He wants to use the voice of our Aboriginal Canada in this hour. And He wants to use you to proclaim the good news to the brokenhearted. Are you in with me? If you are, I want you to send me a note, an inbox. I want to hear from you because I want to stand with you. This is not about our cliques, precious one. This is about a community of people who are passionate for freedom. And I feel that we need to seriously be preventative to the best of our ability and to snatch our children, to snatch the lost from the fire like never before. I love you guys. I thank you for allowing me to share. And please, watch your kids. Pray for them. Protect them. And would you value every single young person this month, the whole month of July? Just tell John, tell Sue, you know what? You bless me. You matter to me. You make a difference in this community. If it wasn't for you, I don't know how I'd make it. Or whatever. Just speak life into them. Let them know that they have a purpose. That's what they need right now.